How many times have you looked at the back of your camera, thought that your exposure was perfect, but you were totally wrong? You're struggling with your exposure because you're trusting your eyes instead of the data. You have two powerful tools built into your camera, Zebras and Histogram, but are you using them correctly? And that is exactly why your exposure is off. Stay with me because I'm going to show you how to use them together so you never have an exposure problem ever again. I'm going to show you how I use Histogram and Zebras to get 100% exposure every single time. But before I can do that, let me go over how your camera sensor shows you the exposure data one by one. Let me break down the histogram first, because I want to show you a trick with Zebras that will help you create art, not just exposure. Alright guys, let's speak about histogram. The histogram is easy to understand once you stop looking at it as a scary graph and start seeing it as a data registration tool. Every single pixel in your image contains information. And all this powerful tool is doing is collecting that exposure data and plotting it for you. It shows you exactly how many blacks, grays, whites you have in your frame at any given second. Let's break down this image and show you exactly how it works in real time. The histogram looks at what you are seeing live. It looks at every pixel on a scale of 0 to 255 and then graphs it on a horizontal scale. 0 is pure black, 255 is pure white. What that means is at 0, it has no detail information, and at 255, it has also absolutely no detail information. That's it. So if your image has a certain amount of blacks and grays, it will plot them from the black side over here to the gray side over here, all the way to the whites on the far right. Now you might just ask, why not show the information on a simple straight line? Here is why. If you have thousands of pixels sharing the exact same exposure value, the histogram stacks them on top of each other. It does not display the pixels where they sit in your composition on your image. Look at this pixel on the far left of my image. It's white. But your histogram will stack it on the right side of the graph. Why? Because it's only interested in the value of that pixel, not the location. It simply stacks every pixel of the same value into a mountain of data. This is where most photographers stop. They look at the mountain and they say, okay, I have enough light. But the way I use histogram is totally different. I don't just ask how much light I have, I ask how do I get more pixels into a particular range so I can direct my viewer's eye. I ask myself, where will my subject sit on the scale? If my subject sits in the black range, then I want more whites to create that separation. If my subject sits in the white range, then I want more black pixels in my image so my subject stands out and has contrast. And if my subject sits in the gray, I ask myself, do I want my subject to draw attention by being the darkest thing in the frame or the lightest? If I want more drama, I need the mountain to shift. If I want more air and light, I need it to move right. And the way I do it isn't just by turning a dial, it's by moving my camera and watching how that data registration shifts in real time. Alright, now let's break down the zebras. If histogram is a map, the zebra is your precision alarm system. Zebras are a tool which tells you exactly when your subject has reached an exposure level that you have decided on. Think of it like an alarm clock. If you set your alarm for 3 a.m., it's going to wake you up the second the clock hits that mark. Zebras work exactly the same way. You are in total control of when they show up. If you set them for level 3, they blink at 3. If you set them for 7 or 8, they blink there. They are waiting for your command. Most people use zebras only to warn them about overexposure. But I use them to tell me when I've reached the creative exposure I want for a specific subject. I don't leave my zebras at one setting. I change them every single time my subject changes. If I'm photographing a black bear, that's a dark subject. It sits at a different level on the scale. I set my zebras for a lower threshold specific to that bear. The second that bear blinks with zebras, I have my data. I know exactly when I'm starting to overexpose the fur. And I can make the decision to bring the exposure down to protect the dark texture. And then if I'm photographing a white horse, I don't leave my zebra settings the same. I change my zebra levels again. I set the alarm for the highlights of the white coat. Once those stripes show up in the horse, it's time to make a decision. I am not guessing where the limit is. My zebras tell me exactly where my subject sits. I urge you, stop leaving your zebras at 100% and forgetting about them. Change your levels based on your subject every single time you go on a shoot. Use them to define where the light lives on your subject. Remember, in your camera's custom zebra menu, you can change these levels to show up even at a very low threshold. You can change them to blink on dark tones or the brightest highlight. Once you have your technical exposure correct based on that data, then and only then can you do what you want creatively. You make that decision. You look at your histogram map to see the world exposure, and you look at your zebras to see the subject's exposure. Now let's go over how you actually use both these tools together in the field. The way I use them starts long before I ever arrive at the shoot. Whether I'm heading into the heat of Africa or the freezing Arctic, I do my homework. I research the color and tone of my subject before I ever pack my bags. White does not always mean 100% white on the grayscale of the zebras. The white horse in Camargue, France, do not sit on 100% brightness. Neither do the Arctic wolves. Sorry, but you cannot create an art piece if you're not willing to put in the work. Remember, 90% of your work is done before you press the shutter button. If you leave that 90% to be fixed after you've taken the photograph, you've already lost. Alright, so let's go over step by step how I use this in the field, and so can you. Step 1. Research your subject and find out where they sit on the grayscale. Once you know their tone, you set your zebra alarm to notify you the second it hits the specific mark. For instance, a white horse on a grayscale is sitting at plus 1.5 stops. So it will sit at about 80 or 85 for the zebras. This information is in my mind simply because I have done it more than 1,000,000 times. If you want it as bad as I do, go do it 1,000,000 times and you will be able to convert the grayscale to the zebra levels in a heartbeat. Step 2. Research your location. You won't have the exact data for your location, but you will know your basics. If you're in the Arctic, the world is going to be white. If you're in a dense forest, the world is going to be dark. Step 3. The most important step. Make your creative decision. Before you even see the animal, decide. Do you want your subject to be the darkest point or the lightest point to draw the eye of your audience? And once you made that decision and you are finally in the field, it all comes together. You will adjust your exposure based on your subject's zebras, ensuring that tone is exactly where you plan for it to be. Then, you look at your histogram stack. You use that data to determine if you need to change your camera's angle or your position. You are fighting to get as close as possible to that creative vision you had during your research, where you decided your subject would be the darkest or the lightest. You will move your body and your camera to manipulate the pixels. You are using the histogram and the zebras to guide you towards the decision you made during your research. This is how you guide your viewer's eye exactly where you want it to go. When you work this way, you aren't just taking a photo, you're constructing an image. You're using data to serve your art. Go do your homework, set your alarms, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.